Let's start Japanese study today. Okay, today's topic is the conjugation of te form from mas form. Okay, so let's start. So you've got 6 items to study today. First of all, reason for studying te form. And we just ask you a few questions as step 2. Thirdly, you're going to start learning how to conjugate mas form to te form, group 2, group 3, and group 1 in order. And last things you're going to study is the about the one exception of group 1 verbs. Okay, let's go. The reason why you study te form conjugation. Why is that? The simplest or major reason is because you have to use te form for as part of the many sentence structures. For example, permission, prohibition, request, and combining sentences. Of course, the light reasoning instead of node and kara, and more. Okay, so these are the reasons. Okay. So I've already said the answer briefly, but from which form of verb do you have to conjugate to make te form? The answer is mas form. Okay? That's very, you have to remember mas form. Try not to change plain form to make te form. Okay, right. Okay, so let's begin the conjugation rules. So the order is group 2, group 3, and group 1, and one exception of the group 1 verb. Okay? Okay, so how are you going to conjugate group 2 verb? What's the rule for group 2 mas form to make te form? Simple. This group has got simplest the rule. Okay, stem class te is basically basic rule for conjugation for group 2 verbs. Okay, so we have, for example, here tabemasu to eat, nemasu to sleep or to go to bed, okimasu to get up. Remember, even though okimasu has got it sound ending stem, but that's the exception. That's group 2. Okay, remember, oboemasu to learn by something by heart or memorize. Okay, these 4 verbs. What are the te form of these 4 verbs? Tabemasu, nemasu, okimasu, oboemasu. It's simple, isn't it? Yeah. Make stem plus te. So, 食べて、寝て、起きて、and 覚えて. Okay, simple as that. Okay, let's move on to group 3. Okay, what's the rule for group 3? Do you remember this? Identical rule you have to remember for group 2. Group 2 and group 3 have exactly the same conjugation rules for te form. Okay? When it comes to conjugate group 2 and group 3 verbs to potential form or plain form, for example, they've got different the rules to apply. So please remember that only te form, group 2 and group 3, they have same rule, stem plus te. We have the 3 verbs. I want you to you just practice on. Shimasu, to do, kimasu, as in to come, and also benkyou shimasu, to study. So what are the te form of these 3 verbs? Shite, kite, and benkyou shite. Oh, yeah. Okay. So up to group 3, group 2, group 2 and group 3, they're simple. Stem plus stem. Okay, let's move on to group 1 verbs. So what is the conjugation rule for group 1? Again, from must form to te form to change. Okay. There are 3 steps. Remember? What are these 3 steps? First, you make stem. Secondly, you remove and also remember the last letter of the stem. Okay? And then last step is add the necessary letters in the table. Now you have to remember the table, which you're going to see in a minute. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you the table right here. Okay, remember 3 steps. Make a stem of group 1, remove and remember the last letter of the stem, and then add necessary letters indicated in second column here. Okay, so if a Japanese, group 1 verb have got the last letter of the stem, either I or chi or ri. For example, tachimasu has got chi. Okay, remember you have to remove the last letter, tachi. So now you've got ta, only letter ta, and add the necessary letters to the remaining of the stem. So tatte is right te form of tachimasu, to stand. Kaerimasu, to return to original point. Okay. Ri is the last letter of stem, so you get rid of ri from kaeri, the stem. So you've got kae at the moment, and add small tsu, and then kaete is the te form of kaerimasu, to return to original point, or return home if you want to say. Okay, so we've got 4 the rows of last letter of the stem group. I, chi, or ri, you need to add small tsu and te. If the last letter of the stem, either mi, bi, or ni, after removing them, you need to add nde, aso nde, no nde. Okay? And the third group has got ki or gi. Okay? As the last letter of the stem, kikimasu, to listen, ki, ite. Oyo gi must become oyo ide. Okay? And last one is hanashimasu, shi. Remove the shi and add shite. Okay, hanashite, to speak. Okay, the last information you have to remember is only one exception to group 1 verb, which is ikimasu, to go. What is the last letter of ikimasu? So ki. If you follow this table, you would make iite. Yeah? But that's wrong te form of ikimasu. Ikimasu, te form of ikimasu is itte. So that's the only exception of the group 1 verb. Ikimasu, itte. Please remember that. Okay, now let's recap what we have studied. So we've gone through the reasons for studying te form. Okay. Secondly, which verb form we have to change to make te form. Okay, which was not play form, must form. We have to change from. And we've gone through conjugation rule for group 2, group 3, and group 1. And lastly, we looked at only one exception of the group 1 verb, which is ikimasu. Instead of te form ite, ikimasu itte, with the small tsu and te. Okay, so that's what you have revised or studied today. Okay, well done. See you next time.